This is the BESV PS1. It's a really interesting, sort of a smaller size electric bike. It weighs about 39 pounds, which is phenomenal, in part because it's got carbon fiber integration throughout the frame. It's full suspension, front and rear. The front doesn't have a lockout, it does have preload adjustment. And this thing goes for about $3,800, so it's not cheap, but it's got some decent components. First of all, we've got the trigger shifters up here, 7-speed Shimano Altus. You can see the cassette right there in the back. One of my favorite parts of the bike is actually the disc brakes. They're hydraulic. Check that out, Tektro Aruga, and they've got a cutoff switch for the motor. So as soon as you activate those, the motor quits. Got 160 millimeter disc brakes front and rear, quick release in the front, but because it does use a hub motor in the rear, there's no quick release there. It requires a little bit of extra screwing around. It's a 250 watt geared motor, so that's sort of at the lower end of the spectrum, but it does have a pretty fancy torque sensor in the bottom bracket right there. So you are getting a smoother, more immediate response. There is no throttle on this, however, so it's just torque sensing, and that's going to extend your range and again make this a little smoother. Nice little kickstand, really solid sort of aluminum alloy fenders front and rear. Just a clean aesthetic, you know. Overall this bike looks great, but it doesn't seem to fold down, get really any smaller than this, which is interesting because it does sort of have that form factor. Initially that's how it appears. We do have some nice lights here. This is activated separately, but it does run off the main. Actually, it runs off of AA's. I take that back. So it's nice that they've included that, but I don't see a rack. So it's kind of like this sleek and stylish mini electric bike, is how I would describe it. Really beautiful, sort of unique ergonomic grips. I haven't seen these on any other bikes. Really unique, you know, breakout button pad over here that we could activate the lights or go up or down in pedal assist levels. And they start at 0, which is just basically this becomes a display. You can see your miles per hour, your distance, your battery capacity. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, just 3. I'm sorry. So 3 levels of pedal assist. And then you start going. The tires on these are Schwalbe Big Apple. Got that nice reflective sidewall that's pretty cool. 20-inch wheels, so a little bit smaller diameter, and that's going to give you mechanical advantage for climbing. And they're 20 by 2 inch, so a little bit fatter. And they've got this nice smooth tread pattern for getting around the city. That's really what this bike is about. It's kind of a, you know, just a neat looking, stylish, but not something that you'd probably want to ride over extreme distances. With that said, it is a full suspension bike, and you know there's not a ton of travel, but yeah, it's interesting. It's air suspension up here. And yeah, looking at that fork in the front. So I'm just going to hop on. One of the things worth noting is that the display panel is not removable, so it's pretty big. It stands out like a tablet, and it's also adjustable so you don't get glare in your face, but you're going to have to leave that on the bike. Hopefully, since it's a bit smaller, you don't have to take this inside or leave this outside in the elements where that display is going to get junked up over time. Adjustable seat post and everything. Okay, I'm going to hop on. I am in the highest level of assist, that's 3. No problem getting up to that like 15 mile per hours. And pretty responsive. It's a relatively satisfying ride. So I spent a little bit more time researching this bike for the full write-up, and what I realized is that this is really a premium, you know, high-quality build that's going after a sophisticated market. This thing is super light. It's got the suspension. It's got the full fenders, and as you can see from their marketing materials, it might be targeting women. You know, it's going to be easier to pick this thing up. You're not going to get dirty. It's not going to rattle. You'll notice that the motor is really quiet in the road tests that I was doing, and you know, at around the $3,000 price point. It is a little bit more expensive, but it's a unique form factor here, and it's kind of like a BMW or something. So yeah, it's kind of neat to see. Woo. Well, that's the BESV PS1 electric bike. For the full written review on this, with specs and pictures, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.